Underwriting Workspace for life insurers. As you can see, the Agentic Workspace itself is on top of an existing underwriting solution. So the underwriting solution itself can either be that of Newgen or it can be a third-party underwriting system. The Agentic Workspace that we have developed will sit on top of that and leverage whatever capabilities the existing solution has also. Now, for the Agentic Workspace itself, we have 3 tabs. The first tab is the case summary tab. And herein, in a very neat 3 to 4 lines, you get a very brief case summary of the entire case. For example, over here we have the case summary which presents us with 2 key concerns. The first is that of the BMI exceeding a particular threshold. And the second is an alcohol consumption flag. These 2 flags are the reasons this case has come to an underwriting workbench in the first place and not gone through an STP straight through processing path. So the very first thing is we're providing a brief case summary of what has happened in the case so far. This case summary is developed using the rule failure that has happened up to this point, rules which can be configured in your rule engines, right? So what all rules have failed up to this point, what all documents we have submitted here, if there is any discrepancy, and if there is any other key risk that the Agentic Workspace has been able to bring to light, right? The second tab is the findings page. Over the findings page, we have a unique structure available to us. The most important part of the structure is that the entire underwriting process has been divided into different exceptions that were raised through the particular system. Now, these exceptions would be both through exceptions of rules and also other key red flags that the system has been able to bring to light. So, as an underwriter or an operations user, the task is simply to resolve the exceptions that the system has been able to bring to light. For this particular case, we have 2 key exceptions. The first is the BMI indicator. The second is the alcohol consumption, as was also evidenced in the case summary. For the BMI indicator, it is not only telling me that this is a particular exception, but also telling me why this exception has arisen. This is again a Gen AI application that we are using. We are explaining what has happened in a particular rule, what has happened in a particular key risk, and how to resolve it also. So under insights, you can see what has happened in this rule, and under recommended action, it is giving me a very clear-cut actionable insight, which is to apply loading of 20%. Of course, this is a recommendation that the system is making, and the operations user is free to override this exception as well. I will go to the second exception, and as you can see, for this exception, it is telling me to load it with 10%. So I can do that and save my actions over here. If as an underwriter, I want to see what has happened in the other rules which have in fact complied, and I can also go and see to the tobacco usage. It says the tobacco quantity is 0, which is meeting the no tobacco requirement, or the drug use assessment, which also says there is no history or current use of habit-forming drugs. At this point, I will go to my actions tab, and I can see all the different actions that I had taken against each exception presented to me in a neat manner. It is not only showcasing me what the actions were up to this point, but also telling me that as per the initial premium and the loading that I have applied to this point, the revised premium is so and so. And again, I can take a final action at this point.